Well, hello everyone. My name is Fred, and as far back as I can remember, I've always enjoyed running. As the third son in my house, a black boy, I immediately got introduced to the top two sports in the black community: football, basketball. Right? Okay, so Pee Wee football, I learned two things that were important for me. One, I don't like standing out in the hot sun. Two, I don't like being involuntarily hit. So football was a no go. On to basketball. First thing, I'm the best defensive player in this room. Second thing, I can't dribble, shoot, or pass. So basketball's out of the picture. I had an opportunity through recreational sports to do like baseball and exposed to golf, but not interested in being silent. You hear this voice. However, in high school, I did get the opportunity to swim, defying all odds that black people can't swim. And at every single meet, I lost. But that's not what we're here talking about. What I also got exposed to in high school was track. And track and field felt natural for me, right? Okay, let me tell you. In track, there are multiple events. So I got to, really fill out the space and figure out how I wanted to show up. Also in track and field, there's different types of athleticism, right? Do you want to be strong? Do you want to be fast? Do you want to have endurance? I only had endurance. So that led me to long distance running, which no one was ever fighting me for long distance running. So I could really feel like the king of the following races. So I ran all the 800, 4x800, 1600, 4x6. I don't even know if we had four people who to do the 1600 because no one wanted to do long distance running. But at that point in time, I really was able to understand that running long distances was something that kind of felt good to me. However, as I transitioned to my 20s, it kind of felt more like a sprint. So I understood the assignment, right? In the 20s, you're supposed to do the following things: go to college, get a trade, okay, find a partner possibly, okay, find a job, get a promotion, buy a house, get a promotion, have some kids, get a promotion, be making six figures, and 30. There you are, right? I understood the assignment. However, my life just didn't quite exactly go like that. Now, I don't want to be somber. I definitely had some things to celebrate. I graduated college. I went off to grad school, didn't finish, tried on a few different careers, but none of it was adding up to all them promotions and that six-figure salary that I was supposed to hit by 30. And now the 20s was a little challenging for me, and running those long distances certainly came back. There are moments, if I look back in social media, around 24 I was running, around 27 I was running, but no consistency, right? But something was changing as I was getting to the end of my 20s. My 30s were coming up, and to be honest, I started really going internal. I had to ask myself some really tough questions, like, why the fuck wasn't I making six figures? Okay. No. Let me not be surface. But really trying to answer some of those tough questions, right? Like what is my aspiration? What is it that I really, really want to do? What is my reality? And what is really stopping me from getting there? All of those questions were kind of rushing at me at one point in time. And I felt that 30 coming and, am I going to be able to say that I've done all the things that I'm supposed to do, or was I supposed to sit in my room and complain? So I was really having some challenges specifically answering those questions, and I knew I needed some help. So I got to therapy before things got crazy, which I'm so thankful for. 2020 was obviously a crazy year. Not only was I turning 30 and all of those internal things were happening to me, but COVID hit, George Floyd happened. So this was really a time of like, what the F? Like, what is happening and how am I going to be able to make it through this? And in therapy, I was told a few things. Three things starkly that I remember. One, I was going to have to learn how to prioritize myself, and not like what I do for others, but like me. Okay. All right. So then we get to the second thing, which is you got to be honest about your capacity, what you can do and what you can't do. And you're going to have to use that word that you don't like, which is no. Okay. Then I get to the third thing, which is you're going to have to go and find joy. Joy is not coming to you. Okay. This is a lot. These are three things, but if I remember these three things, I should be able to get to it, right? Okay, birthday passed, wiped the head, feeling a little healthier, and we're okay. However, we get towards the fall, and part of that capacity thing is that I had to realize that maybe I couldn't be part of all these organizations. Maybe I couldn't show up every weekend. Maybe I'm not able to do all the things for you that maybe you need, that are your needs and not my needs. And so I'm going to have to practice that word no. That also meant that some of my friendships and even a relationship that I had been in close to a year had to come to a close. And so this year was just exhausting for me. But the beautiful thing is that the holidays were coming up, and not only will I be able to see family and eat all my favorite foods and gain a bunch of weight, but I'll be able to see some friends. Living in a small city, typically the holidays bring back a lot of people who may have traveled away. And that was exactly what I needed at that point in time. Close friends, close circle, let's reminisce. We're all turning 30. What the hell? Why don't we have six figures? Right? And so that's exactly what happened. Thanksgiving came and gone. And I think that weekend I had a few friends over my house and we had a blast. Food, drinks, pizza. And I remember going through past yearbooks and just really having a good time. And of course, all of that chatter, here we are, 3 a.m., right? And somebody finally acknowledges it's late. And my overzealous self says, hey, we're having so much fun here. Go home, go to sleep, but be right back here at my place, 11 a.m. I'll have drinks, I'll have food, we'll have the layout, and we can keep this energy going, right? I said I was in therapy. I didn't have all the tools yet. Okay. So right as I close my door, all right, yeah, see y'all later. I go, what the hell are you thinking, bro? Like, you're going to have to wake up early to make all of this happen. Like, why did you overcommit? Because your name is Fred. All right, so I go to sleep. I wake up 8 a.m., get up. I know I got to get to the grocery store. Beautiful thing about the grocery store, 2 miles away, no issue. Get to the grocery store. I've done brunch before, so I'm not new to this. I'm true to this. Immediately to the fruits, blueberries, strawberries, bananas. They're going to go with something. Then we're going to go to the proteins. We're going to get multiple. We're going to get pork. We're going to get turkey, uncured turkey bacon for the likes of myself and all of the other elite people in the room. Okay, so then we go to the bread. We know if you're going to make French toast, the most important element of that French toast is the bread. You don't just need the ingredients. What type of bread? So I get some sort of raisin brioche, whatever. We'll cut that thing up and we'll be on our way. And then down to dairy. We get the milk, we get the eggs, we get orange juice. And to my favorite part of brunch, champagne. Because that's law, right? 4 or 5 bottles of champagne, maybe one chaser that we do not plan to use, but it needs to be there. And here we go. I'm up at the front, self-checkout, and ready to go. I scan everything and I get to the champagne. And of course, I'm going to need an attendant to come over to allow me to purchase this champagne, check my ID. So here we are, maybe at 9 a.m. I shoot a text to my friends just like, hey, wake up. Remember I said 11 a.m. Don't play me like no fool. Make sure you're there or tell me that you're not going to be there. Shoot that text off. All right, the attendant scans my ID and I'm on my way. And I remember hearing, Fred, you don't see me standing here? Turn around and I see my ex's sister and her husband standing right there. Now, mind you, I told you that relationship ended. Maybe it had been about a month and there had not been a lot of communication. And while I am typically good on my feet with, hey, oh my God, good to see you, I was shook. Hey, how are you? If I'm honest, I can't remember the full conversation. I remember it being short and kind of muddled, me thinking of multiple things, and I spoke and I got out of there. Okay, get to my car, and even though it's 2 miles away, I can tell you I may have asked myself 200 questions in that car. What the hell are you doing? How did that happen? Oh my gosh, how are you going to explain this? How did you get caught having fun? You're not supposed to have fun right now. All of these questions, anxiety going through the roof, but what I am also thinking about, 11 a.m. I said brunch will be out, champagne. Remember, I overcommitted. So I get home, I'm unpacking the groceries, and I'm thinking I got an hour. You know, everything don't have to be ready at 11, right? You figure out what you need to get ready first, right? I'm going to cook that meat, get some smells going. We'll figure it out. And so I hit that text again. Hey, don't play me. Are y'all going to be here or not? And to my surprise, they canceled. Oh, no, we're not sad. We're happy. We can repurpose these groceries. No issue at all. I can drink all this champagne, everything of the sort. And at least you told me in advance. But what is still pondering in my mind is that I just ran into someone who meant a lot. And what do I do with this? And so I'm still ruminating those 200 questions. You know, part of my psycho anxiety is that I could not stop trying to answer questions that I didn't feel like I had an honorable answer to. And I remember seeing my running shoes and thinking like, okay, like go on a run. And so that's what I did. Went, strapped on my running shoes. At this point in time, I didn't even have Bluetooth AirPods. I'm dropping the phone through my shirt to put in my pocket, everything of the sort. And at this point in time, very amateur like running, take off. Running, I hit about 1.5 miles and I see a hill. And I remember, if nothing else, when you run, you're supposed to run up hills. Don't do it slow. It'll hold you back. So I take off that hill and I get to the top. And I remember taking a huge breath at the top. And all of a sudden, this just huge euphoria kind of took over me. And I felt good. I was slowing down, but I was still going. I was breathing very deep, in and out, in and out. And it just felt so calming. Immediately, I thought, like, is this runner's high? Am I high? What is happening? Right. Okay. So I finished out that run. And at the end of it, I just remember on the walk home kind of just being like, Fred, it's okay. You're fine. You're good. Like, your intentions are well. Everything won't make sense to everybody. And I get home, and even though my situation hadn't changed, I may still have to answer. Maybe I need to make a few phone calls. I felt different. And that really mattered to me. And it was in that moment that I made a connection that running really could be a tool in which I could address my anxiety with. Right? And so in 2019, I looked at my running app. I may have run 5 miles throughout that entire year. Throughout 2020, when that incident happened to me at Thanksgiving, I had run 200 miles by the end of that year. 2021, 600 miles. A lot of anxiety, as you all can see, right? But here we are in 2023, and those numbers have come down. Now, when I go run, I'm actually running for enjoyment. Running has taught me 3 things that are really important and I want to share to you all. The very first thing, running has taught me to slow down. And that may seem weird, but endurance is about the length of the journey, right? And not necessarily you making the journey as fast as you can to prove to everybody that your pace is so much faster, right? So running has really taught me to kind of slow down and enjoy the race. The second thing that it has taught me is that there will be other people who are faster and who run longer. Celebrate them. Celebrate them. That energy will come back to you. They didn't always start there, and that this is something that they have worked for. Okay. And then the third thing that running has taught me is that progress is priority over that pace. So I don't need to be worried about like, how long have I gone? How fast have I gone? How often am I running? Every time I run, it's an opportunity for me to internally reflect at the end of it. And every time I run, I become a better person. So today is the last month of May. May is actually African American Minority Health Month and Minority Mental Health Month. And on this last day of the month, I just want to remind you all of those things that my therapist taught me that I still stick with today, which is number 1, prioritize yourself. May sound selfish, but it's not. It's really your key to a long distance life. Number 2, be honest about your capacity. It's just truly honest about what you can offer. It's not a good or a bad thing. It's an honest thing. And then that very last thing, which is be intentional about finding joy, because it's not just going to voluntarily come to you. It's something that you're going to have to go and find yourself. Thank you all so much.